So this is a weird little Halloween movie. We are talking They Live Inside Us. This one is directed and co-written by Michael Bailiff and stars James Morris. So what we have a guy, a man, and his young daughter decide that they're going to spend some time in this renowned haunted house. Now this guy's a writer, and he is hoping to get inspiration from staying in this particular kind of like haunted house. And of course, as you can probably expect, things may not be quite what they seem, as there seems to be presence within the house, and there's a mystery involving this kind of mysterious woman in white that is in a photograph. And not only that, we actually get a few vignettes of little interconnected stories that this guy as a writer is doing. So let's talk about, first of all, what works. Okay, so this movie is not quite an anthology film, but it has these three little vignettes when this guy's kind of writing his stories that make for kind of an interesting change of pace. To be fair, they all involve just a woman running away from three different types of bad guys, but there you go. But nonetheless, it gave the movie some kind of variety, some change of location, and it added an extra element to this film. The main story involving this kind of haunted house, there are some creepy moments, although they're somewhat cliche, but there are some sort of creepy moments here. By far and away, the best thing for this film was the young girl, who, to be honest with you, I feel is a little underused, but she was a fantastic actress, I have to say. Her scenes, I really felt like, empathy for her, and kind of like, I thought she was a really, really strong actress here, better than our main actor, in actual fact, who I felt performance was somewhat mixed. I think the effects work is quite fun, and the movie has a somewhat of a unique plot. I don't want to give it away. It kind of, well, it's not all that unique, to be fair, but it tries to be a little bit more than just your straight kind of haunting. Let me just say that. But I feel its main thing is this little conceit of having these little vignettes within the film itself. I think that was a fun distraction. So what doesn't work? As I've mentioned, the acting. I think our main character here wasn't the strongest actor, and he's got this young kind of 10, 12-year-old girl who, in my opinion, far outacted him, and his kind of reactions to stuff really didn't seem like particularly realistic in regards to human reactions, and that will go. Now there is a kind of a plot element involved here, so I will say that, but there is it's one of these things where I feel this movie very much falls into the typical cliches and typical trappings of horror movies, especially low budget ones. The kind of like the very subdued reactions of when someone clearly sees something supernatural and how they'll kind of deal with it. The typical thing where we have like someone kind of off-center a camera, so you have a void here, so something's going to happen within this void, and when the guy turns around, there's nothing there. And I always think, okay, who's that ghost appearing for? Is it appearing for us as the camera? Are we meant to be kind of within the room? Doesn't make sense. It's just one of these kind of cliche things that a lot of horror films do, and I always kind of think, does it really make sense when you think about it? If a ghost is appearing, why is it appearing behind someone when they can't see it, and then they turn around and it's gone, but we can see it, and we're not obviously clearly in the film? Doesn't really make sense to me, and it always takes me out of things like that. There is a kind of a central mystery within the film, and I feel, here's the thing with this film, I think it arrives at its destination, but I feel the journey to get there is very meandering. So let me put it like this. When you watch the film, about an hour into the film, you'll feel that our main character is in the exact same position that he was an hour ago. You don't really get any kind of like gradient in kind of character progression, I didn't think. It all just kind of happens at the end. And like I've said, so it feels like it's treading water a lot of the time. And for a guy who's meant to be a writer, these little vignettes are very kind of like, Jesus, that's just like the most basic of writing. I'll give plaudits to the film for trying to have this kind of central mystery and trying to kind of like wrap it in this film that isn't immediately apparent about what's kind of going on, and has elements from a lot of genres, the classic haunted house movies, slashers, all sorts of stuff, killer clowns. It has a lot going on there, and a kind of like an emotional punch towards the end. But I don't know if it was the best narrative flow for that movie. I will give it a slightly above average mark, 6 out of 10, I will say, because I do think there are some elements here that do elevate it to just slightly above average for me. So 6 out of 10, have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.